Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you making today?
I'm gonna do a porridge, actually with Swedish grains and a little bit of the mushroom from Swedish forest. It's a variant of the Swedish porridge that is served at the Nobel banquet.
A very controversial porridge.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, get started.
Yeah, thank you. So first of all, we're gonna cut some shallots. Actually, when you do this porridge, it's almost like do a risotto.
When did you realize that you were better at cooking than other people?
I don't think I'm better than people. I just think my interest is really, really high. I think that anyone can be good at cooking if they're interested. When I was 13, 14, you know when you're going home at your friend's house, and I saw that they have a really different food culture in their home. My mom was a vegetarian, and she was a single mom, and we were living in a tight budget. I think we ate very, very different that my friends did. So when I went to their homes, I realized that it was so much to explore, and I get really curious about the whole food world and what makes the difference between different kind of family. So then I realized that I wanted to be chef because it's like a whole world that you can actually dive into. I'm cutting some mushrooms from Swedish forest that we actually picked in the autumn. So we had it for Nobel. I think it's really nice to foraging and saving food from the best of the prime time.
How did you come up with this dish?
Actually, I've been working a lot with public health because I'm working at school as well. And I think it's really, really important. That's one of the biggest questions of our lifetimes, both the climate and the public health. And I think we really have to think about how we're eating a little bit more, because one part of the world is having starvation and malnutrition, while we in this part of the world have all the possibilities to eat healthy food, but we don't do it. I really wanted to use this barley because I think it's really important to have new innovative process that you can make on the food that we are already eating. So this one is actually hydrothermal treated, that makes it to optimize our intake of the very important minerals that we are really needing in our body, especially for women and growing children.
So it's like a magical porridge.
Yeah, it's a magical porridge. And we have been eating porridge in so many years, and it's actually Swedish tradition. But you have eaten it also in different kind of classes. I think it's really important when you do like traditional dishes, you can actually optimize them for the future and also make them really luxurious so it fits at the Nobel banquet. So I have the grains. I pre-cooked it a little bit so it's a little bit softer.
How do you pre-cook a grain?
Yeah.
What do?
You just cook it
in
salt
water.
and water. Yeah. Yeah, so it still has some al dente feeling. So I'm gonna do just like a risotto. And then we're gonna do the onion. And then I just put in the dry mushroom and get it seared a little bit. And I have a stock. It's really important to have a nice stock. And this one is actually a mushroom stock.
How do you make a nice mushroom stock?
You actually just boil it with some maybe some garlic and some shallots, and you let it sit for a while, and then you just sieve it. So champignons are actually excellent for making nice mushroom stocks. Then I'm just gonna put in the grains. And then you just put a little bit of the bouillon, the stock inside. And you just let the bouillon get into the grains so they get soaked. And then you put a little bit more and more so you get a really creamy consistency. And at the same time, I'm gonna fry some mushroom to top the dish with, because I really like to have a lot of textures in my dishes. It was really hard to make risotto for 1,300 persons.
Oh my God.
You want to have perfect. It was actually the biggest challenge I had at the Nobel banquet.
How do they tell you that you're going to be cooking for the Nobel? Like, do they ask or do they tell? And do they email you? Do they call you? Do they send a letter? How does it work?
They actually call.
They called.
They call. And what do you say? Yeah, it's the biggest achievement you can have as a Swedish chef, I would say. I don't think no one ever said no.
How far in advance did they call you?
Yeah, it's right about now. In March, April, I would guess. So it's actually a long process. You have to like think about what you want to serve, and you actually make 2 menus, and then they choose one.
Okay. What was on your other menu?
Now that I can tell
You can't tell.
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
I'm going to sear a little bit more, so you get out of the excess water inside of the mushrooms.
Okay, what you got there?
I get some parsley that I'm going to just chop up a little bit. And then I'm going to have some green kale as well. And I'm just going to add them to the pan in the last minute. And just give it a swoosh.
Did you eat porridge growing up?
Yeah, I did a lot. And we ate, like the last of the months, we ate like maybe 1 week of porridge. But I actually really love it. Maybe that's why I think it's so nice now. Now we're just going to do it like a risotto. We just put some butter inside. And then we're going to have some grated cheese.
What kind of cheese?
This is Audenes tegel. They're really, you know, Sweden has a really nice tradition of making cheese and eating cheese as well. So I think this is the perfect one.
When you made the porridge for like 1,000 people, how many pots of porridge were going at one time?
Yeah, it was 130.
Oh my goodness, how many people were helping you?
It's 40 chefs.
40.
And 110 waitresses, I would say.
110 waitresses?
Yeah. So I'm just going to put this inside, half of it, and then we're going to top with the rest.
The parsley?
Yeah, the parsley, sorry. I'm just going to use half of the parsley inside of this now, just for the flavor, and then we're going to top it up with a little bit more.
For the look.
Yeah, exactly.
At Vogue, we care how the look is as much as the flavor.
But I think every chef cares
Yes.
about how it looks. You eat with ice as well. You really need some acidity. And Swedish apples you can have them this time of year, and they also really nice texture because it's really crispy.
It looks really nice. Doesn't look like any porridge I ate as a child.
Me neither, I would say. That's why you have to make it a little bit more modern. So there we have it.
It's gorgeous. It's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.